Hi, my name is Carly Earlywine and I'm doing my project on sports injuries. With sports injuries, there's many negative effects, including the physical pain, psychological and emotional health effects, and within prescription medication, there are many negative side effects that can have devastating results. So first I'm going to talk about the etiology of sports injuries. What causes sports injuries? Well, according to the article Sports Injuries published in the Sea Health Journal of Science, sports injuries are most commonly caused by poor training methods, structural abnormalities, weaknesses in muscle, tendons, ligaments, and unsafe exercising environments. So some athletes like to hop into their sport without even warming up. This can have detrimental effects and result in sports injuries. Further, genetically, some people are just naturally born with weaker wrists, ankles, knees, and hips, which are really injury-prone areas, and they have a higher chance of getting sports-related injuries. And also, biologically, females over males have wider hips and narrower legs, which can result in an increased risk of sports injuries below the waist. So some psychological effects, including mental and emotional health, include sadness, isolation, and depression. According to the article Mind, Body, and Sport, How Being Injured Affects Mental Health by Margaret Pudikin, when a student athlete is injured, there is a normal emotional reaction that includes processing the medical information about the injury provided by the medical team, as well as coping emotionally with the injury. So initially, right off the bat, hearing what injury you have can be very detrimental and devastating. Thinking about the amount of time that you have to take away from the activity, as well as thinking about what the rehab process will look like, it can be really sad and depressing. Also, as an athlete, being away from the court, being away from other athletes, it can be very isolating. A lot of the times you're confined to your physical therapy office and your house on your couch, and so there's a very lack of socialization going on when you are injured. And also, on a relational note, a lot of athletes identify themselves as athletes, and that's all they know who they are. And so having a sports injury almost strips them of their identity, and there's left with this confusion. So next I'm going to discuss some treatment. According to the article, What Are Sports Injuries?, published in the Wiley Encyclopedia of Clinical Trials, treatments for injuries include non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, so something like an ibuprofen that could reduce swelling on minor injuries, immobilization, so stabilization of the body part that's injured, surgery. In more severe cases, sometimes there needs to be some medical treatment in order to repair the damaged body part, rehabilitation, so like physical therapy, in which most sessions consist of ice, muscle, electromuscle, where they pump the muscle for you, the stimulation, strength and conditioning exercises, balance exercises, and then rest. So something else that also can stem from sports injuries is drug addiction. According to the website lockthecabinet.com, 2 million high school students get injured playing sports each year. Another study of male high school athletes, which was published in the Journal of Adolescent Health, noted that high school athletes are at a higher odds of being prescribed painkillers due to sports injuries, and then subsequently higher odds of misusing the pills compared to other students not involved in sports. So, when an athlete is injured, oftentimes they're prescribed prescription medications, and these prescription medications can be very dangerous. They contain opiates and hydrocodone, which can be really addictive. It can be really easy to fall into an addiction with that. If there's no monitoring of the dosage or no monitoring of how much you're taking, this can really spiral into a drug addiction. It's easy to misuse and become addicted. So on a personal note, my freshman year of high school, I tore my ACL playing basketball. I was at about the 3-point line. I stole the ball, ran down the court for a layup to tie the game up, and I came down on my left knee and I heard this really eerie, cracky noise, and I just knew instantly that something was wrong. I fell to the floor screaming in pain, and it was horrible. I was rushed to the hospital. I had an MRI, and it was later diagnosed that I had torn my ACL and shredded my meniscus. And this was really scary for me to hear because I didn't know what even an ACL was. I didn't know what treatment for this was going to look like. I didn't know what was going to happen. And so I was in a really a state of fear and also a state of pain because I was in a lot of pain. So turns out I had to get surgery, and I would have to go through about 6 months of rehab, and it wouldn't be until a full year that I was able to get back onto the court and play again. So as you can imagine, within physical therapy, I endured a lot of pain. I can imagine being there for every single day for a couple hours and just going through the exercises and you know, the stretching of my leg, and it just being so painful, and it just hurt so bad, and it was so excruciating, and sometimes it was really defeating. I almost wanted to just, like, I can remember some times where I just wanted to quit and just give up and not even get back into the sport that I loved. Some psychological effects. Because my injury was so severe, I couldn't be walking around on campus, so I was kind of confined to my bedroom, and I was away from my classmates, I was away from my athletes, I was away from just any sort of socialization that I had, so that was really hard for me. I was really lonely, and it was just a tough place to be. And also, I did have a very scary experience with my prescription medication. About 2 days after my knee surgery, I noticed I started to feel kind of strange. Mind you, I was only 90 pounds at the time, so I was very sensitive to every medication that I did take. I started to shake a little uncontrollably. My breathing wasn't right. I couldn't think straight. I just didn't feel right. And so my parents called 911 immediately, and I was rushed to the hospital in an ambulance where I was treated with some counteractive medication. I was given some fluids, and I was really just monitored for the rest of the evening. But this experience was something that I'll never forget. It was very traumatic. Luckily, I was able to kind of bounce back from that and recover 100%. And that's kind of why I chose to do this topic, just because I really did have a personal experience with this, and this is something that I can relate to now with other athletes. Thank you.